back to the Star League Season 3 Grand Finals. We just had a cinematic look at what was happening in ByuL's main base in Game 2 and how this series may end up looking if ByuL cannot get back sort of that momentum in this series, because both games he's dying to these almost cheesy immortal pushes that are picking him apart.
2 base immortal all-ins so far, 2 times in a row. He's got to try and shake the momentum. His hero's getting into his groove right now. He's getting very aggressive with ByuL, like we did see in the Keston Cup when they had their best of 5. He's going to try and shut this down. He's going to play more safe, be a little bit more committed to scouting out what the build order is going to be for herO, and try to hard counter. Every time so far, he just hasn't been in place to deal with it. It was close to the second time, because he had a lot of links out. He had link speed pretty early on. No Roach Warren though, which is a big critical problem when you're dealing with an immortal all-in that's very zealot heavy.
I feel like ByuL's mindset is to try to do unique strategies, try to be as greedy as possible, play a little bit differently than he normally does, to cut some corners versus his teammate. And everything is perfect for herO now because he has so much momentum, and ByuL might be playing scared, he might be playing too safe now. Maybe now's the time when herO starts playing insanely greedy on Expedition Lost winning Game 3.
The mind games are there, but at the same time, because of Expedition Lost, maybe we'll just see it again. You know, Immortal All-In's also going to do fantastic work on this map that has a backdoor. It's going to be very hard for ByuL to have a decent position, a decent surround on that kind of style.
Well, with a 2-0 lead here for herO, he's got a lot more options going into game number 3. Let's see if ByuL can bring a little bit of momentum back, or if herO is going to put himself with a 3-0 lead onto match point. Let's get into Expedition Lost here at the Season 3 Star League Grand Finals.
선수라는 걸 모두에게 증명했으면 좋겠습니다.
Oh! Alrighty then. Nice and early here.
It looks like an 8-pull.
It seems that way. It seems definitely an 8-pull here, and it's going to do a lot of work against the pylon on the natural.
That it will. It's been a pylon at the ramp every time, the secondary ramp that is. So we'll see. It's going to be a gateway first as well.
Oh yeah, this could do a lot of damage.
Oh, but a pause!
Oh, he senses something is wrong here. He's like, no, wait, we should restart this.
Oh man, this is like the intense pause. The pause where everyone panics, everyone holds their breath.
See all the fans in the audience here. Lots of blue and red.
Yeah.
And the green casters, unfortunately.
With no camera for us today.
No camera.
That's all right. We're too handsome. They couldn't handle it. Might, just break the Twitch stream.
Naturally, that would happen, Wolf.
ByuL is stressed, and no doubt, when you've put all of your marbles into a kind of timing attack like this, it's barely not an all-in, but if it does no damage, you basically lose.
It's pretty all-in-ish.
It's borderline, right?
Well, it's like you got to do damage, or you can't really come back into the game. You got to cancel that pylon.
You don't have to kill them with it, but you definitely need to do crippling damage. Is the bottom line.
You certainly have to do some economic damage there to even things up at the very least.
So when you take a look at a strategy like this that's so tense, and it's not mechanically demanding in the early game during this sort of build, whereas some of your other strategies are a lot more so. You're kind of just waiting and hoping, what build did he do, what's going on, and then your opponent pauses at this moment in time.
Yeah.
You and I have commentated for several years. I've commentated in Korea for 4.5, nearly 5 years now. And every time I see this pause, it's just such a stressful moment for the players, because the attacking player in this situation is so frustrated because he's trying to get his energy right, he's trying to get his mindset right, and his opponent pauses. His opponent doesn't even know this is coming.
Right.
And it's just such a frustrating place to be. It looks like herO's having sound problems.
Is it like either he can hear it or he can't hear like his game sound? Hopefully it's the game sound thing, because if he heard what's been going on so far, he'd have a fair idea what he's up against.
Oh, no doubt.
And that would be such an unfair thing for ByuL.
Well, they definitely do have those ear blockers in there, and as long as he was wearing it properly, I don't think he would have been able to hear it. It is very loud here, though.
Super loud. Super loud.
I know ByuL had problems before the setup was complete. Now he's back to normal. Everything seems to be okay for him on his side of things. And hopefully this is just a simple issue of his in-game sounds and nothing more. But one of the things to keep in mind is during all of this, he cannot take those headset blockers off, because if anyone in the crowd screamed loud, or if the commentators mentioned anything about the build during this time while the doors are open, or while he's trying to make sure his sound is right, that could be a very, very it could actually destroy the integrity of this game 3. So yeah, he's going to have to communicate, perhaps even like alt-tabbing and typing in Notepad to the admins. This is going to be a longer process, obviously, because those. If you've never worn some of these pro gaming sound blockers before, when you put them on, like the first time I ever put one on, I was actually with Valdez, and he was talking to me, and I was like, hold on, let me try this on. And we were having a conversation, I put them on, and I couldn't hear what he was saying instantly. Like, they block out a lot of sound.
I've certainly used them as a pro gamer in a lot of these tournaments as well. A lot of IEMs will use such a thing, and even here, when I played in GSL, I had the same sort of thing. They do a lot of work, so I'd probably be with like the soundproof music went off.
Oh, and you know what? So
the white noise in the background disappeared, so it means he can hear just about anything that's kind of outside the booth.
Yeah, especially at a volume of this magnitude. So hopefully, everything's going to be resolved.
That's a lot of respect as well. Calling it out like that, it's like, I got a huge advantage right now. I can hear what's going on. I know something's coming my way. And it gives him like all the tools he needs to kind of deal with it as well. Granted, he did go for that pun on the low ramp there. The gateway was put down. So no doubt. I mean, look at ByuL right now. He's frustrated. I feel like he kind of knows the situation. They probably told him what's going on. And he's like, I can't believe that happened in my game 3. My build, ordered win, just went out the window.
This is an incredibly frustrating situation. And this game will almost have to be 100% replayed. Now, there does go into a lot of mind games that you could do if you do the same build on a regame. That might be less expected, or potentially you do something totally different, and then herO plays too safe, like he makes his gateway on the high ground or something because he's a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But obviously, I feel like for ByuL, you have to be frustrated in this moment. You have to be really angry. You have to be really upset because you're going for such a risky build that's all about your opponent not knowing that you're doing it. Yeah. And he's got a sound problem, and he knows that you're doing it. This is a huge problem.
It's a big issue here, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to rectify it, what they're going to do, if it's going to be a regame. Are they going to play on? Are they going to give the winner? Or are they going to, I don't know what they could do. I don't think they'd give the win ever. That would just be a little too unfair.
Yeah, that would be crazy. that wouldn't make any sense. It's not herO's fault that
it's not herO's fault. But it's such a bad place to be. That's the last thing ByuL needed right now.
I almost feel like the fairest thing would be to just simply skip Expedition Loss and have it as Game 7 or something, and then go straight into Coda and like refresh everything and be like, all right, if we go to Expedition Loss, it's going to be the final map or something like that.
I feel like they either play on or rematch.
I think it's going to be it's more likely they play on, depending on if herO heard anything or not. And herO's going to be honest. Listen, if he's on enough to pause the game because the sound went off, then most likely
he heard something.
Most likely he heard something. He's going to be honest about it. If he didn't hear anything, just simply because or maybe he heard the crowd was really loud and he's like, it must be an early pool, or the commentators made a joke. He knows something is going on, right?
He'd be like, the only thing they could be cheering about right now is an early pool.
Yeah. So it's either going to be a regame or it's going to be the game is continued. And I feel like it's just too difficult to prove that he heard nothing to continue the game as is. But as soon as we get any more information about what is going to happen, we'll be updating you guys.
Yeah, it really just, I feel like the scariest thing, the most detrimental thing here is the mindset of ByuL. And like, is he even more tilted now that he missed out on his opportunity to get an easy win like herO has twice in a row? Could he have broken the momentum with that style? It's kind of such a shame, this kind of situation. It just shouldn't happen, but it did.
Have you ever been in a tournament where you had a pause like this on stage? Can you think of a time?
Time where I heard stuff? I can't say I have. I know there's been a lot of complaints before. I think there might have been one or two times, maybe like one time that I could hear stuff, and I'm like, I can hear the casters. This is not okay. Like, we'd rather do it off stream or something than play this because it's just not right. But sure, obviously you can't do that when it's the grand finals on a big stage like this.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out some sort of fix for this.
It's a big problem. I mean, players don't want to win like this ever. All these players, all StarCraft players have a lot of pride. They're not going to win just because they can, not because they get a free easy up because they hear the commentators or anything like that. They want to win because they're the best. and certainly so if they're teammates, right?
Absolutely. You know, there's just a lot of, I guess, you know, pride as well as, you know, wanting to win legitimately. We're actually going to have the game resumed. All controversy aside, we'll talk about this later. The probe is going to deny this gold base, at least for now. At least ByuL wants to make him think he's trying to take a gold base here. And the Lings are out. This also denies the probe scout, so this is very smart for ByuL to fake this like this as these probes come along the map, or rather these Lings.
Well, here we go. Lings actually going to be wrapping around and going towards the gold base off hero's side, and this is going to give him a huge surprise so long as he doesn't know exactly what's going on, and he does not.
Oh man, he's going to start an Nexus. Perhaps he thinks the crowd was about the gold base, but it certainly was not. Here come the Lings.
This is going to create a lot of problems here. This could simply just be a good game.
I think it is. I think it's going to be a build over win here. There's nothing here. There's the cancel on the Nexus. He's going to have to try to get a floor jump in his main base. He's certainly not going to get his Zealot out in time. That probe pulled down from the main base to try to buy time, but the Zealot isn't even started yet.
It's enough probes here to deal with these Lings if they get a decent surround here, if they get the minimal walk they need. Lings are going to buy a lot of time and stop a lot of mining though, and more Lings coming across the map until there simply are too many.
And the Zealot hasn't even been started, mind you, so as soon as it is started, he's going to have to chrono boost that. herO looks at a loss. The probes are not even moving at this moment in time. He was microing these probes in the main base, and obviously ByuL, since he knows he has his builder advantage, will just push it and make only Lings.
Yep. Just keeps going like this, and he should be in a good place.
He's
Zealots
actually
lined up.
Going for the Nexus right now.
Well, I guess you can weaken it up, soften it up while you build that pool of Lings outside the natural.
It's just tough to actually get these Lings into the base with all these probes here. The Zealot attempts to block but fails.
It's an ambitious move here by the Lings. That's not going to be enough to deal with that. At the very least, he's stopping the mining in the main base, which is why he's keeping those Lings there.
Yeah, if he kills the Nexus as well, you know, he just simply eventually makes enough Lings to win the game.
Going for the surround, but going to get the pylon instead. While it's still happening, Lings are trading out with probes in a big way.
It looks like this is just simply going to be game. There's no way that herO can defend this anymore. More Lings coming across the map. This is a numbers game. He cannot win. He's getting a good fight here, actually, though, with these Zealots.
Yeah, ByuL's going to be careful not to trade everything out here while he makes more and more Lings on the way. He's going to have enough actually to deal with these Zealots if he wants to.
Yeah, he just doesn't know the exact timing the third one's going to come out. He knows it's going to be soon. In fact, it looks like it's going to come out before this pylon goes down, so another small win here for herO. So now he's unpowered and he traps the Lings.
Big surround here. They're going to sneak on out there, but this is denying more and more mining time, which is a huge thing for ByuL right now. 14 Lings out in the map against 3 Zealots and more on the way.
Yeah, it's just a problem that he simply cannot produce Zealots. In fact, he doesn't even have a pylon, so he doesn't have enough money to make one, and the Lings will eventually overwhelm.
He's going to kill the gateway as well, so he's actually not going to have anything. He's going to have no production of units at all.
And this is herO just trying to think about the next game, which is in fact Coda, because there's no way back into this one without a pylon. He does start it now. It's not even powering a gateway, though. He's trying to make another gateway. It just simply is not going to happen. The Lings will now overwhelm the Zealots and win the game.
As it should have been in the trailer of Legacy of the Void, it will be now.
He's actually just going to kill the Nexus because if he fights in the mineral line, there's a chance he could mess it up.
Well, down goes that Zealot down to the back here. 2 more at the front, defending what they can, but they're damaged Zealots already.
Oh man, he's microing his heart out here. He's trying his best. It's just not enough. It looks like he will hold this for now. It's actually incredible 8 health left, but now he just avoids those probes.
Nothing left here. 5 probes.
GG, no gateway either, and ByuL will take the momentum back in a somewhat controversial game 3 on Expedition Lost.
He's not looking happy about that either. You know, he's in such a focused mindset right now. I think that pause certainly upset him, and no doubt his 2 GGs in a row took a toll on his happiness and mentality for this series.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you there.
His happiness was waned. He's rebuilding it right now, though, 1 game at a time.
Coda is going to be the next map, our 4th of 5 2-player maps in a row to start off this series. And, you know, the early pool, unscouted.